Uh, Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss a case study on workmen compensation coverage and the claim. But before that, I would like to share something. It's Yulia's birthday today. Happy birthday, Yulia. And okay, guys, let's start with the webinar now. After we wish Yulia. Uh, so we'll remember this always because this is recorded as well. So whenever we will see this webinar and whoever will see this, they will remember. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to discuss about workmen compensation coverage and claim. So how we will start? First, we will start with what exactly it covers. Most of the people are still confused when it comes to workman compensation, especially our clients. Sometimes they say it's health insurance. They think because there is a medical expenses cover is there, so they are still confused. What is the difference between the workman compensation and medical insurance policy? So what exactly workman compensation policy cover? Uh, there is medical expenses benefit, which is only covered when there is an accident. Whenever there is an accident while working inside the premises or outside, and you met with an accident, it will be covered. So how this is different than the normal medical policy? You can say that policy is also covering if something happened to you. But what is the difference in most of the medical policy? If we are talking about basic plans and sometimes enhanced plans as well, work-related accidents are excluded. What is the reason? Because by law, you need to have a workman compensation policy, and this policy is covering all the work-related incidents. Also, this policy covers the injuries and the death as well, which is not covered under your normal medical insurance policy. So, what else we can get covered in this policy? I'm going to discuss that as well. But I want to share first about the details on the disability as well. So there is a coverage for the disability, and it is based on different situations and scenarios. For example, if you cut your finger, there is a certain percentage you will get as per the law. If the full hand is gone, there is a certain percentage. Leg as well, eye, nose, ear, everything is covered, and there is a certain percentage of the amount you will get, which is already there by law. So this is additional covers to that. And then in medical expenses, you can decide how much cover you want. It starts from 10,000, 15, 20, 30, 50. and up to you, whatever you think is best for the company, you can get it. Then there is a repat cover as well. For example, if someone dies and you need to move the body back to the home country, you can get this cover as well. And as I mentioned earlier, that death cover is there already in this policy. So this is always be there in the policy. But what extra you can add, I'm going to discuss that in the next slide. So transportation to and from workplace on company transport. So this is one cover which can be extended, especially for the workers when they are coming to the work or they are going back from the workplace. This policy will also cover if there is accident while they are moving from their workplace to the home or from home to the workplace. So that extra cover can be added. There will be additional premium for that as well. Then there is employee to employee clause. This is very important clause because sometimes not intentionally, unintentionally, one employee can injure another employee. With this extension, it would also cover the expenses if something happened because of one employee to other. Then the next thing is non-manual overseas business trips. I think this is also a very important extension to be there. For example, if you are going to a business trip, it could be any employee insured in the policy, and if the employee met with an accident anywhere in the world, this policy will also cover. Why it's mentioned non-manual? Because not there for the laborers. If they're going somewhere else outside the country and they're doing any manual work, that will be excluded. This is purely for non-manual, which means that people sitting in the office, they will get benefit of this cover, that they are going to meet different clients all over the world whenever they go to a business trip. So this way, with this extension, they will be covered. Okay. The next thing is sunstroke, hernia, and work-related illnesses. Okay. So sunstroke, as you know, the weather in UAE, it's really hot, and those laborers which are working during afternoon time, they can easily get sunstroke because of the heat. And hernia extension is also there. Those who are carrying heavy weights, the laborers, they usually get these two diseases, and then with this policy they can get it covered. Now the third one, work-related illnesses. This is a tricky one. For example, if someone is working and he got stressed out, and because of that he got ill, you can also claim that. But the tricky part is then you have to prove it with a medical report, and sometimes it's not that easy to get work-related illnesses claim, because it's a bit tricky one, and you need to have a medical report supporting that it really happens during the work and all. But this cover is there, and it's rarely available. Only a few policies are having this extension, and that is also subject to additional premium. Then we have 24 hours personal accident extension as well. So with this cover, you will not be even covered for the working hours. Even after the working hours, 24 hours, you will get this cover if something happens. Then funeral expenses are there. Those who buried the dead bodies, there is additional charges to that as well. And this is an extra cover which you can get it under your policy. So that's pretty much about workman compensation insurance and the extensions we can provide with that. If you have any questions, we have a poll time there. You can ask, so I can answer your queries. Now we will move to a claim situation, a real-time claim situation where we have an incident, and you can see how we got it covered under this policy. It was a very old claim for one of our client. I think you guys are aware, National Paints. So what they do, they are in paints business, and they are insured for liability, motor, and workman compensation through Petra. So what happened on 10th of May, there was a massive fire reported at National Paint. This was one of the famous fire in Sharjah. If you will Google it, you will still find the details of this incident. The property was not insured through us, but workman compensation policy, as I've mentioned earlier, was insured through us. So one of the employee was not able to survive in this fire, which resulted into his death. So the policy, the workman policy, was insured through Petra, and we have submitted the related documents to the insurance company. It was back in 2000. We submitted in 2012. The reason why, because whenever there is a death claim, it will go to the court, and it takes a lot of time to get those documents. And when there is a court involved, it will not be that quick. So what happened was the insurance company offered us 30,000 settlement as per the law. So what happened is, whenever in workman compensation policy, this is the maximum benefit you get if there is no court case, if it's just you are reporting to the insurance company and submitting all the documents. So what happened is they offer us 30,000, and we didn't accept this offer. And we told the insurance company that there is a death claim, and we want the full policy coverage, and we will wait for the court verdict on that. At that time, the court verdict was not out, and we got this offer from the insurance company. But we declined this offer, and we told the insurance company that we need full settlement on this claim. Okay, so what happened that the client was not expecting any amount out of this. They were not thinking that they will really get this amount. As you know, that a lot of time was passed, and but we didn't stop. You know, we were going and back and forth. You know, we started negotiating with the insurance company. And what happened that lawyers also, they approach the insurance provider to settle the claim, but we advise the insurance company to deal through us and not to the client. Then what happened? We informed the insurance company that we need the full settlement, or else we will approach the court again, because these lawyers, they don't understand exactly how it works. So that's why we suggested to deal through us, not directly with the insurance company. So we start negotiating with the insurance company. There was a lot of back and forth, and after exchanging all those emails, finally in 2015, the insurance company, they accepted, and they were willing to settle 226,044 dirham, which was obviously accepted by Petra and the client. Since the client was not expecting anything out of this, it was delayed because of the documentation purpose. But the client was really surprised that you know, we are able to get them this much amount of claim. And as a good willing gesture, they have shared the amount of 60,000 with Petra, because of the service and the support we have provided them on this claim. So this happens when the client is happy and they were not expecting a good amount. They could have taken 30,000 at that point of time when the initial death was reported, and they could have get this amount and they will be fine with it. But as a broker, we know that it was client right to get the full amount because there was a death claim, and as per the policy, the client should get this amount, 226,000, and not what the client was offered. So as a broker, we play our role, and at the end, we got rewarded. Also, we do have the screenshot of that discharge slip, which we have received as an offer. So you can see the slip here as well, and you can see the date as well here with the full claim details of that policy. So that's pretty much I want to share about workmen compensation policy. I know you do have questions, and we'll go to the polls for that. And you will also get a question on what should be the next topic. So you can select that, and the next webinar will be based on that. So we'll move to the polls now. You guys can start writing the questions in case if you have any questions. Okay, guys. A question answer time. So now we start getting questions. The first question is from Aves. Extension needs to be requested to get the coverage, or is it automatically covered if it's mentioned in the policy? So Aves, there are two things. Some policies are already comprehensive, like if it's from international providers, they will give you these extensions built in. It will be there already. But with few local providers, you need to request for these extension, and which will be subject to additional premium. Even with the international providers, some of the extension would not be there automatically, and you need to request for it. But mostly, most of the time, international providers, they do have all these extensions built in the policy. Um, I will wait for a minute. If there are no more questions, then we'll wrap it up. Okay, so we have another question from Afreen. On what basis they offer initial claim of 30,000? It's a good question, Afreen. So what happened is, as per the policy terms and condition, when someone is not able to work, they are giving you compensation based on your basic salary, and it's up to certain months. So if you do the calculation, the maximum amount is 30,000 based on the 24-month salary they are providing to the employee. So what they have offered initially was the 24-month of salary, because he passed away, and for sure he's not, there is nothing left there. But if someone is really injured, and the person is he's not able to work, this is the maximum compensation insurance company will provide. But if there is any disability, there will be additional amount that would be paid apart from this 30,000. But 30,000 is the maximum amount, regardless of the salary. You will be getting it through this policy. But if your salary is even more lower, this amount could be reduced, because based on the calculation for 24 months for a labor, sometimes it will not reach 30,000 level as well. Any other question, guys? Okay. How a subcontractor can get claim? Okay. So as if the subcontractor is added in this policy as a additional insured, and the details of subcontractor employees are provided, then the subcontractor would be covered in this policy as well. But if you don't add them as additional insured and you didn't provide their salary details, subcontractor would not be covered in the policy. Okay, was the final amount paid to the disease member, beneficiary, or the company? Again, Afrin, it's a good question. So what happened in these claims, whenever there is a death, it will go to the court. And as per the Sharia law, you have to pay the diya money. It's called diya money, which is 200,000 dirham. You have to pay to the family of disease. So National Paint would have paid this money directly, to the to the, there are two ways it can be paid through the court. So what will happen, National Paint will pay this money to court, and court will pay to the deceased family, or they can also share it directly with the deceased family, and then they will share the proof with the court that they have paid, and later on they will reclaim it from the insurance company. Or if they are not in a good financial position, the insurance company will also pay directly to the deceased person. Okay. What was the insurance company, why they took 5 years to settle the claim? Okay, so Ehsan, when the claim was reported, it was a Lebanese insurance company, and later on Zurich, they they took over Lebanese insurance company. And why it took that long? If the documentations are not completed and the case is disputed in the court, these claims will always take time. If I have to share my experience with you, most of the death claims are taking so much time because in the court there are different dates for different dates. Every time they want to have a discussion, and then they give you another date, then you give you another date, and it keeps on going because there are so many cases in the court. They don't settle it right away. They take their time. Plus the documentations are also involved, so you will always see whenever there is a court case, it will take a lot of time for all the claims. So this is how it works here in UAE. When it comes to the claim, it will not be settled right away. But there was no issue with the insurance company. There was some documentation issue. When it was sorted, they have settled the claim, and there could be some delays because the company was different before. If I'm not mistaken, it was mentioned Lebanese in the court, and then later on it was changed to Zurich, and I think that was also one of the reason it got delayed. Okay. If declared driver and passenger, do they require to add transportation cover add on? That will be automatically included. Charles, if the driver is there, so two things. In workman compensation, you can get this cover, and in a motor policy also you can get the covered for the driver. So, but you cannot claim from both policies because you need to submit the original documents. So either you can claim it from workman compensation policy, or you can claim it from the motor insurance policy. And I suggest to claim it under the motor insurance policy, because if you claim it under workman compensation policy, it is going to affect your loss ratio, and then the premium would be higher when you renew the policy. Okay. Will there be a specific network of hospital the patient could be covered, or everything will be paid? Okay, that's a very good question, Charles. Okay, so what happened is you can go to any network. If there is an accident, you can go to any hospital, you can go to any clinics. Before there was a condition in this policy that you can only go to the government hospital, but later on it was changed. So you can go to any private hospital regardless. There is no specific network. Even you can go to expensive hospital because it's pay and claim basis. So once the treatment is done, you can submit all the bills and you can get your claim back. Another question from Charles: when is a claim not covered? Okay, good question, Charles. When claim is not covered, for example, if it's a natural death, it will not be covered in the policy in case of natural death. It should be work-related accidental death. There should be accident, then only this policy will cover. Some people still misunderstood this death cover, that a natural death would be covered under workmen compensation policy. That's not the case. Okay. How subcontractor can get the claim? This is from Avas again. Avas, it will be the same process. If you add a subcontractor to the policy as a additional insured, then you can submit the same documents which you submit for a normal company. The bills from the hospital, the labor contract copy, similar documents you need to submit. There is no special document that needs to be submitted in case of subcontractor, as long as it's added in the policy as additional insured and the wages are mentioned on the policy. I think that's pretty much. What if contract does not? Okay, there is another question. What if the subcontractor employee get injured, but the subcontractor does not have any workman compensation policy? Only the main contractor. In this case, what customer can do? Okay, if the customer is not having subcontractor employee is not having a workman compensation policy, how they can claim it? They can claim it under the contractor's all risk policy. If they're working on a site and the subcontractor employee get injured, then how they can claim it? The main contractor need to report this claim under the policy, and it will be covered under the third party liability section of the policy of the contractor all risk. And you have to make sure there is a cross liability extension is there in order to consider this claim. Otherwise, the subcontractor will not be considered as a third party, and they cannot claim in this situation. We have a claim at the moment with the very similar situation what you have asked, and it's a death claim as well, and similar situation. Subcontractor employee died, and they were claiming under the CR policy, but it was the company was not paying, which we are fighting at the moment. Okay. Is the repatriation ticket for a disabled workman is insured by the company as well? This is by Hisham. Hisham asked this question. Yes, Hisham, the ticket amount would be paid under the repatriation expenses cover of the policy. So yes, the company will pay that as well. This is mainly in case of death, when you are moving the death body to the home country of the employee. Then in that case, they will pay the ticket as well. Okay, I think that's pretty much that's all the question. We'll close it now, and I'm available. You guys can ask me question anytime. I'm always there to answer, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Adnan. This was really definitely an educational session with a really good case study shared. Hope everyone learned something new or even refresh whatever learned earlier. We are wrapping the webinar at the moment. Thank you for attending. Have a good day, guys.